What an idiot. And the thing is that he's not going to get that deal now. He's not going to get that version of it. Trump's definitely that guy. He is not going to put the same offer on the table, nor should he, everyone. Because as you like to say, Xi's watching, Putin's watching. Yeah, he knows. He knows better than you do. And he knows they're watching. And what happens when he lets that guy talk to him like that and then signs the same sweetheart deal? No. That part's over. We'll have to wait to see what happens next. But I think we're getting a deal. I think Trump's getting his deal. I know a lot of you out there are on Twitter right now saying Trump blew up the deal. There's no way this happens. Again, I just want to reiterate my opinion is that you're saying that because you want him to be wrong. Because you want to be right.
The initial U.S.-Ukraine mineral deal may be off the table after Zelensky's antics at the Oval Office. The Ukrainian leader is forced to backpedal on his own words as President Trump calls him out yet again. Ukraine gets hit with an unexpected blow from the White House, and a simple hand gesture may just change the course of this war. Now, this one is hot off the press, you guys, so I hope you guys are ready. If you appreciate the daily news updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's start with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky realizing that he's made a terrible mistake. Watch.
Despite that spat with President Trump at the Oval Office on Friday, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says he remains confident that he thinks his relationship with the United States and with President Trump can be repaired. And like you said, Steve, he is still confident and optimistic that they can reach a minerals deal with the United States. He still wants security guarantees, though, but Trump administration officials say security guarantees are contingent on a peace deal, and they don't even know if peace is possible at this point. That's why they say they're trying to get Russian President Vladimir Putin to the negotiating table.
President Zelensky has thrown off the sequencing. And Margaret, let me tell you the most tragic part of this. The President Trump's idea for this economic arrangement was to further intertwine the American people and Ukrainian people and show no daylight.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says a minerals deal is currently off the table. To get it back on track, some Republicans and U.S. officials say a major reset is necessary, and they argue that task falls on Zelensky.
Something has to change. Either he needs to come to his senses and come back to the table in gratitude, or someone else needs to lead the country to do that. I mean, it's up to the Ukrainians to figure that out.
European leaders are grappling with the fallout. After holding a summit with other European leaders in London over the weekend, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced the outlines of a plan to end the war. The Associated Press reports the proposal would keep aid flowing to Ukraine and continue to arm them from any future Russian invasion. Starmer reportedly says the UK is ready to put boots on the ground and planes in the air, but the plan would still need U.S. support.
Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. Zelensky on his end answered back on X and said that until there's an election in the Ukraine, then no one has a voice there, which actually makes sense and is a very brutal burn if you think about it. Now, to make matters worse, President Donald Trump recently announced a pause on military aid to Ukraine. Watch.
A White House official confirmed to CBS that the president is pausing and reviewing all aid to Ukraine to ensure that it is contributing to a solution. Now, this comes after the skirmish, for lack of a better word, in the Oval Office on Friday between President Trump and President Zelensky. Now, the Trump administration had not promised any new military aid to Ukraine, but what it had not stopped was what was in the pipeline committed by the Biden administration. The Biden administration, as we know, had committed about $66 billion worth of equipment from current Defense Department stocks and in contracts for defense industry to make weapons for Ukraine. This pause now stops all of that. There have been shipments to Ukraine since the Trump administration came to office because not everything that Biden's administration committed can make it over there quickly. Like vehicles. Vehicles sometimes may take months to get over to Ukraine. What the Trump administration had been doing was just letting that go to Ukraine without committing anything more. Now it appears that the Trump administration has stopped all aid from flowing to Ukraine.
Now, I want to go to former White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley. He was on Benny Johnson's podcast recently, and according to him, Zelensky is cooked.
See, can you please give us an insight into Trump? If Trump uses this hand gesture towards you, are you officially cooked? Are you done?
The Sopranos.
Okay, if he does it, are you done? You're done.
You know, it's a Peter Navarro does it too. Absolutely. This is you know, and Trump doesn't do things by accident, because usually it's the hand, right? It's this and that. And he did that in the meeting, but when he gets to this, you know, you got some bigger problems than just $300 billion stopping from coming to your country. I've seen the picture you're showing, the memes. It's amazing. I love it so much.
We're going to have to wait and see what happens next, but it's certain that Zelensky has a lot to think about. Now, mainstream liberal media, they continue to call out the president and vice president J.D. Vance for this meeting, accusing them of bullying the Ukrainian leader. Now, I covered this in a previous video where Secretary Marco Rubio talks some sense into these journalists. Make sure you guys check that out. As always, appreciate y'all hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time. What's funny to hear is that despite their bravado, they always come back to say that they need us, right? That they need the support of the United States and President Trump. But here's the good news out of all this. Europe is now making moves to achieve peace in Ukraine. And I really hope that this isn't all talk or just some huge publicity stunt, because they had to watch Zelensky get dressed down in the Oval Office for them to actually do their part. We also have to acknowledge that we never got this far with former President Biden in charge. It's common knowledge that Putin doesn't respect him enough to even talk to him regarding peace. President Trump, on the other hand, with his team, has come the closest to getting Russia to talk this out with Ukraine. Now, we also have to address the statement from Zelensky, because while he says he's ready to sign the deal, he goes back to our end of the table, citing that maybe the U.S. still needs some time to figure things out with his deal, which is a fallacy because we were waiting on him. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was very clear that this should have been signed a long time ago.
They also understand that this agreement that was supposed to be signed today was supposed to be an agreement that binds America economically to Ukraine, which to me, as I've explained, and I think the president alluded to today, is a security guarantee in its own way, because we're involved. It's now us. It's our interests. That was all explained. That was all understood. And nonetheless, for the last 10 days, in every engagement we've had with the Ukrainians, there's been complications in getting that point across, including the public statements that President Zelensky has made. But they insisted on coming to D.C. This agreement could have been signed 5 days ago, but they insisted on coming to Washington, and there was and should have been a very clear understanding. Don't come here and create a such scenario where you're going to start lecturing us about how diplomacy isn't going to work.
Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below. Now, I don't think Zelensky is very savvy when it comes to these interviews, because he made a huge mistake by saying that he believes this war will go on for much longer, something that President Trump doesn't like.
Well, I just think he should be more appreciative, because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin.
Donald Trump is not letting up on his criticism of Vladimir Zelensky, responding to the Ukrainian president telling reporters he believes peace is still very far away.
He thinks the war's going to go on for a long time, and he better not be right about that.
Zelensky attempting to clarify on social media, saying Ukrainians very much hope on U.S. support on the path to peace. Peace is needed as soon as possible.
I don't know if it's just me, but this guy just keeps contradicting himself. 1 minute he wants to work with the United States and sign a deal. The next, he's asking for more stipulations and claims that this war will have to continue for a long time. He also has some key words for Senator Lindsey Graham. Graham, who used to support Zelensky, says that the president now has to resign, something that Zelensky obviously didn't like.
Can I just ask, you alluded to citizens of other nations. I mean, since the incident, Senator Lindsey Graham said that perhaps you should consider resigning. Speaker Mike Johnson today said that maybe you should consider resigning. Is your attitude it's not their business?
Lindsey Graham is Lindsey Graham is a very good guy, a very nice. And speaking who must be the president and whether I shall resign, I can give him the citizenship of Ukraine. He will become the citizen of our country, and then his voice will start to gain weight, and I will hear him as a citizen of Ukraine on the topic of who must be the president. But Lindsay represents the party that fights for democratic values, and anyway, the president of Ukraine will have to be chosen not at home, at Lindsey Graham's home, but in Ukraine.